The dream of owning an Aston Martin is a powerful and almost universal fantasy, a vision of sophistication and roaring performance that has been carefully crafted and polished over decades. It's the car you see in the most glamorous of settings, the machine that seems to be the final, perfect reward for a life of immense success and good taste. To slide into that leather-clad cockpit, to hear that engine snarl to life, is to feel you have arrived at the very pinnacle. This is the brilliant and intoxicating image that is sold, a promise of automotive perfection. Yet, for the individual who actually takes the leap from admirer to owner, a far more complex and often painful reality begins to unfold. A reality where the sheen of the badge is perpetually threatened by the gremlins lurking within the very electronics that are supposed to control this masterpiece of modern engineering. The true, unvarnished cost of an Aston Martin is not found on the window sticker but in the quiet, sinking feeling that follows a mysterious warning light flickering to life on the dashboard, a silent herald of financial and emotional drain. The initial purchase itself is a significant moment, a transaction that feels less like buying a car and more like gaining membership to an exclusive club. You are not just acquiring a vehicle, you are buying a piece of a legend, a work of art you can drive. The smell of the leather, the perfect weight of the aluminum door as it closes with a solid thunk, the way the light plays across the sculpted bodywork, it all conspires to make you believe that every single penny was worth it. This is the peak of the dream, the moment of triumph. But the dream has a very fragile heart, and it often beats not with the reliable rhythm of its magnificent engine, but with the erratic, unpredictable pulse of its complex and historically troublesome electronic systems. The problem is not that Astons are poorly built in a traditional sense. The body panels fit beautifully, the interior materials are sublime. The issue is that they are, in essence, a rolling network of computers, a collection of delicate electronic components sourced from various suppliers and then woven together with software that has, over the years, proven to be less than robust. This is where the fantasy meets the harsh glare of reality. The real cost of ownership begins to reveal itself not in the predictable expenses like insurance or fuel, but in the sudden, inexplicable failures that can strand you or turn your six-figure investment into a stationary sculpture. Imagine the scene. You are about to take a client to lunch or embark on a long-awaited weekend drive. You press the start button. Instead of the glorious roar, you are greeted by a chorus of chimes and a Christmas tree of warning lights illuminating the dashboard. The infotainment screen goes blank. The transmission refuses to shift out of park. The car, in its entirety, has decided to take a day off. This is not a simple mechanical fault, something a local mechanic with a wrench can diagnose. This is a digital mystery, a ghost in the machine. The first and only port of call is the official Aston Martin dealership. There is no other option. The specialized diagnostic computers, the proprietary software, the specific knowledge required to even begin to understand the problem, it is all locked away within the dealer network. This lack of competition for repairs immediately gives the dealer immense power, and the bills reflect this reality. A simple fault, like a failing sensor in the door lock mechanism, can require hours of labor just to access, as the entire interior door panel must be meticulously removed without damaging the exquisite leather or expensive trim. The part itself might be a small electronic module, but it is an Aston Martin module, meaning its cost is multiplied far beyond its inherent value. The labor is charged at a premium rate, befitting a luxury mark. What would be a few $100 repair on a normal car quickly escalates into a four-figure invoice. But the true financial terror lies in the larger, more systemic electronic failures. The early versions of the Volvo-derived infotainment systems used in many models from the 2000s and 2010s were notorious for their slow responses, random resets, and complete failures. Replacing the central screen and its associated computer unit is an expense that can run into thousands of dollars. Then there are the more terrifying issues, like problems with the engine control unit or the transmission's brain, where the repair bill can easily surpass 5 figures, a sum that feels like a ransom payment to get your own car back. Beyond the direct financial hemorrhage, there is the immense emotional and psychological toll, the constant, low-grade anxiety that replaces the initial joy of ownership. You find yourself not listening to the engine note, but listening for any unusual beep. You glance at the dashboard not to check your speed, but to scan for any uninvited warning symbols. The car is no longer a source of pure pleasure. It becomes a high-maintenance partner, a beautiful object that you fear might embarrass you at any moment. This anxiety fundamentally changes the relationship. You hesitate before taking it on a long trip, worried about being stranded hundreds of miles from a specialist. The check engine light, that universal omen of distress, takes on a particularly sinister meaning, representing not a potential $50 oxygen sensor, but a potential $5,000 deep dive into the car's electronic nervous system. The car's identity shifts from a symbol of freedom and success to one of vulnerability and financial risk. The dream of spirited, carefree driving is replaced by the cautious, paranoid reality of hoping the electronics will deign to function correctly for just one more journey. This phenomenon creates a fascinating and cruel depreciation curve. While all luxury cars lose value, an Aston Martin, particularly an older one known for these electronic gremlins, can plummet to a price that seems like an unbelievable bargain. This is the siren song that tempts many a second or third owner. They see a beautiful V8 Vantage for the price of a new family sedan and believe they are getting the deal of a lifetime. What they are often buying, however, is a key to a vault of hidden costs. That affordable purchase price is merely the entry fee. The previous owner, weary of the constant niggling issues and looming threat of a major failure, has offloaded the problem. The new owner inherits not just the car, but its entire history of delicate wiring and temperamental modules. They are stepping into a cycle of repair bills that will, in very short order, far exceed the initial bargain they paid, effectively erasing any semblance of a good deal and trapping them in a financial loop of maintenance and despair. Therefore, the complete picture of Aston Martin ownership is a tale of two very different realities. On one hand, there is the brilliant, shimmering image, the powerful brand, the stunning design, the intoxicating sound, the feeling of being part of an elite. This is the promise, the product that is so effectively marketed and so deeply desired. On the other hand, there is the gritty, expensive, and frustrating truth of keeping this complex machine alive. The real cost is a hidden tax, a subscription fee paid not to the manufacturer, but to fate and to the dealership service department. It is the sum of the tow trucks, the rental cars, the long waits for back-ordered parts, and the heart-stopping invoices. To own an Aston Martin, one must understand that you are not just paying for a car. You are paying for the dream, and then you are funding a separate, ongoing budget for the nightmare of keeping that dream from short-circuiting. It is a high-stakes relationship where the greatest luxury is not the leather or the power, but the fleeting, priceless peace of mind that comes from a dashboard free of warning lights and a car that simply, reliably, works.